one day I hit him with that famous thing that we always hear. You ready?
What's that?
I know how to draw.
Oh, no. I wasn't ready for that.
Any artists out there, they know what I'm...
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
I know how to draw.
I was thinking like, wait, what was it? Yeah, there it is.
Yep. And he was like, oh, for real? And I was like, yeah. And I got some of my artwork and I brought it over to him and he looked at it and he was all like, hey, bro, you can really draw. He was like, hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
At least you proved.
He was like,
backed it up.
He was like, hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie, because you know, Sketch, he's from Florida. Right. Sketch looks white, but he's really not. He is a Boricua, so you know what I'm saying. He's white, but he grew up in Florida, Miami, Florida. He grew up in all Puerto Rican neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like he just looks that way. You know what I'm saying? Sketch saw my artwork and he was like, bro, you could really draw. Like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm from Florida. I grew up around like Boricuas, you know what I'm saying? And he was all like, look, bro, you don't meet too many black people that could draw like this, dude. I'm like, he's like, hey. He goes, I'm not saying there aren't that can draw, but he's like, it's like fighting a unicorn.
Right. You're the unicorn at the time.
He goes, dude, like, he goes, you ever think about tattooing? I'm like, I don't know, man. So I will be over there watching them tattoo. Like, you haven't seen me with my hair like this.
No, last time I seen you had a fade.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, you might have had even like a not too much of a what do you call it? Like it wasn't too long though.
Not like it is now.
Nah. So go and pull it up to you a little bit closer to the mic, and then it'll turn right. Yeah, how's that?
All right.
Can you hear the headphones, dude?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, solid. Yeah. All right, man. Well, welcome back to the shop. It's been a while.
I know, man. It's been too long.
So let's just catch up before we get into like introduce yourself. Who are you, brother? Where do you work at? You could get into some background if you want, as far as like how long you've been tattooing, what you do, how long you've been around, as far as like your start, knowing me, because there's a I don't know if you remember the first time we met was at a bloodborne pathogen training meeting. You remember that? You remember like David Tower?
Yep.
I was there, and like there was a big, who was that lady? That Kathy?
Kathy, I think it was Kathy. Yeah, that was like that big deal they were making about.
I remember when they sent us to the shops. They sent the notice. Yeah, remember that? They sent the notice over, and they were like, "Yeah, we have to go to this training," and it was like Madeira.
Yeah, and it was cool. They gave us lunch that day and everything.
I remember that. Yeah, that's where we all kind of, where were you from? Where were you from? Whatever. Yep. But I remember that they sent that letter over to the shop, and like. It was one of those, I think what they were trying to do is, because now the way they do it out here for this county, they say, okay, this is what's approved for our health department. Yeah. These are the bloodborne pathogen trainings that are accepted. And so they give you like a list and you just basically, pick whatever you stick with. So, but back then I think they wanted that to be like the summit of all the artists have to gather annually to that location or to join this. I think they were trying to like,
I think they were trying to break down that barrier of like the separation that we had, because like, all right, if that wouldn't have happened, we would have never met.
Right. No, I know. What I mean? That's like, crazy. That's what I'm saying. Because I remember,
it was dope because you got to see other artists that you heard about, but you finally got to put a face to the name. For me, like everyone were like, whoa. I mean, I was the darkest motherfucker in the room.
You were the only one there.
I was the only one, man. And like, it was cool, man. Like, I was very fortunate to like get into the game around some solid people, bro, who really looked out for me, who genuinely looked out for me, man. I was very, very fortunate and blessed with that, though, because
think about doing this, man. And earlier you called, like always, you used to call me and just be like, I'm going through this, or check this out, and hey, what are you doing for this, or what's your procedure like right now? Or you'd call me and be like, what do you guys, what's the protocol? Yep. Or are you going to work? Are you going to, remember when all this, everything hit the fan? And I remember, so like earlier when we're talking, and there's a lot of stuff that I was like, I should just recorded that conversation. Right. This is the first time that we actually sat down, and if you notice this is quiet.
Yeah. Like we've never been able to like just me and you chill.
I was thinking about that.
Well, even when I would come out for your events, dude, it'd be like, hey, bro, we got to kick it. We'll grab some dinner. And realistically, we knew we weren't going to ever be able to grab dinner because we'd be here tattooing until like 2 o'clock in the morning. Remember the time I got a flat on my Dyna?
Yeah, dude.
And I had to leave my bike here.
At the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, that was 2015, 2016.
Yeah, because that, like you said right now, but I remember if we ever got into conversations, like we maybe spoke about our start, but we never did this. We never sat down. And I feel like a lot of artists too, if you know, people that if you're in a shop and you work with others, I guarantee you, not a lot of people know the backstory of different artists or owners. Definitely. Yeah, check that out.
Do you realize that? You know what I mean?
There.
Like,
man, that tattoo means so much. I've done so. Look, I've done a lot of. That's the shop logo that I had since like 2000. I want to say 2010, 2011, or 12, right? Around within the 3-year span. So I started that, and it was just simple, just abbreviations, right? But that one means you're rocking one of the most, I think, iconic, rarest badges of the shop. Why? Because you got it with Jesse. Rest in peace. That's the main thing right there. So that honestly, bro, like, and a lot of people don't know that. Like, I think that night, I remember we were sitting here and we're like, hey, we're going to do the shop logo. The shop logo. And I did it on both you guys. And
I still got those pictures.
I had a frame. Yeah. I have it at the house frame.
Yeah, man.
I have it framed because it's you two, and then there's like me tattooing you and tattooing him. And that means a lot though, because it's kind of like you have a matching tattoo with him on that day. And that's as close as, you know, we left it as far as.
Was it even like when people talk about him and I'm all like, oh, dude, like, you don't understand. Like, I have a personal bond with him, and they look at me like, oh, what? And I'm all like, dude, we got this at the same time. For the fact that love was there between us and you and him, me and him were like this.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? From day one, we were like, hey, bro, let's get it at the same time.
You started meeting everybody from here, all like the locals and stuff like that. But
dude, I swear, like, tattoo conversations are the best sometimes. Like, hey, sometimes our clients dump on us, bro. Like, they dump. Like, they'll tell you some shit and you're just like, bro, hey, thank you for sharing this with me, but I gotta take this home now, man.
You're messing with, like, I tell people, man.
Like, oh, man, I was having a good day. Like, thank you for the trust. Like, dude, don't get me wrong, I love it. Because,
absolutely.
That's the part of our job that people don't realize. Yeah. Like, when they're like, oh, you guys do tattoos, you're horrible people. Hey, do you realize, like, it's like therapy for some people, bro?
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's legitimate. Like, some people come to us legitimately because they trust us enough to give us their fucking deepest, darkest secrets.
It's essential, man. This is a therapy that would, like, your shop is your own private practice. Yeah. And so is mine. And some people, this is their bar. Yep. They don't go to the bar. They don't have they just have the home life, family life. Maybe they're a trucker on the road, whatever the case. And they come in here and they just, like you said, they dump it on us. It's funny you said that, because it's like that.
I love it though, because all right, for me personally, it means so much to me because of how hard I had it getting into the game. Yeah. Like, for me, like, and then some of the people that have my back, bro, I've been best man at some of my clients' weddings, bro. Right. I've been to quinceañeras. I've been to birthday parties, bro. Like, I'm godparents to some of my clients' kids, because like a lot of people don't understand, like, we develop relationships with these people.
We're spending hours with these guys. And, you know what I mean? Multiple sessions, like literally like a therapist, you know?
And for me, it's crazy because of where I'm at in my career. Yeah. I'm tattooing, like, I tattooed the mom and the dad with the little kid running around the shop when they shouldn't have been in the shop. No way. Yeah. Now that kid's old enough to get tattooed. Now I'm tattooing the kids, bro. Yeah, so, like, for me, it's such a blessing, because, like, it becomes like a tradition. Like, hey, bro, I'm 18. I told you when I turn 18, I'm going to get tattooed by you, Chris. Let's go.
You know what I mean? You hear the parents say, like, oh, wait until you turn 18. We're going to bring you right here. And, you know, I had this conversation with my son, my 10-year-old Emmett, and I said, you realize you guys grew up in this environment? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, do you know how long you've been in this shop, like around a shop environment? He's like, since 2013, 14. And I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, and that's very rare. And that's crazy to hear that like your son is being raised around a tattoo shop. That's like, they're about to call CPS on you. Man, that's not the best until you realize that your shop is not what it once was. Because now let's talk about the roots, like how it used to be. Man, that's where you don't want to raise your child.
Dude, the roots of tattoo. All right, like, You see a lot of the older cats in the game, and they make their memes on the internet about how like tattoo shops are like day spas now. And
right.
I give it to them.
I see it.
I give it to them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they're absolutely right. Tattoo shops have become more day spa like, but you have to understand, like over the course of time, when they started doing what they did, coming from like when you think about the pike, it's people who are tattooing that don't even know nothing about the pike. Bro, they're on the pike with a bucket and a towel and no gloves, homie.
Pigment,
so what did they say
powder.
when people started using gloves? Oh, look at these guys using gloves now. Right. So I get it. It's an evolvement of the industry. But it's just crazy because like that sense of camaraderie is just gone, bro.
Yeah. That's I think that's why when we talk, if you ever mention an apprenticeship, I say people, well, apprenticeship in my eyes is I'm like who now is an artist that she took off on her own. Yeah. Her own like success, her own path. Because that's what I told her. I can give you the tools, you're gonna have to do the work. Yeah. And obviously there's a lot greater beyond that. I earned my apprenticeship. I seeked out artists and they were gonna charge me. And it wasn't, honestly, I would have paid. It wasn't even the fact that I didn't want to pay, but I wasn't in a position to put myself in that kind of I was like, damn, okay, I gotta figure it out. You know what? And literally I remember telling the artist, let me figure it out. And I'm just stressed out now because I have this job that I'm not gonna be able to pay this for an apprenticeship. And in the end, I was like, I'm just gonna. I did, in all honesty, I did what most people do, and they just kind of go look around. What else is going to be accepted? Who else can accept an apprentice? Because it was the time when. How did you apprentice? What was your start? What's your name? We were just rambling all over. Oh, my bad, dude. Who are you?
Man.
Lay it down. Who are you?
My name is Chris Barnett. I've been tattooing in Tulare County for coming up on 20 years.
AKA Lerk.
AKA Slick.
There you go.
I'm from the 90s, man. I graduated high school in 96, so we had multiple names. You know what I mean? Remember how everybody in the Wu-Tang Clan had different names, bro? Like everybody. So Lerk was like my tagger name.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like when I got into
artistic names.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like when I started tattooing, like even still to this day, anything I draw, Lerk.
Yeah, it's
you know
signature.
What I'm saying? Like that's my signature.
Yeah.
So then like Slick, that just came about. But yeah, man, I've been tattooing in Tulare County for coming up on 20 years, man.
That's where you started?
I started in Tulare County, man.
But you're from?
I'm originally from LA. I grew up in LA, South Central, man.
In Nipsey's hood, right?
Yeah, man. I grew up on 62nd and Alviso, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What's up, Tattooing Out Loud listeners and viewers? A quick shout out to Helios Tattoo Supplies, one of the newest sponsors for the podcast. I'm proud to be a sponsored pro team member using their needles on the daily. Next time you're thinking about stocking up on supplies, head over to the website heliostattoos.com. They don't give out promo codes unless it's a holiday or a special sale they have going on. They have a code that you can use upon checkout, out loud. You'll receive your discount. At the same time, support the podcast. Thanks again to Helios for sponsoring myself as an artist and sponsoring the pod. Now back to the show. You made it out, and here you are. That's wild.
I did. Yeah, man. Like I was very fortunate because like I got to learn how to live on both sides of the track. So like when I lived with my mom, we were like dirt ass poor, dude. Yeah. But my grandparents were like chipped up. You know what I mean? So like, all right. I remember when my grandparents, they left LA and moved to Hanford. Okay. And
that's how you ended up.
That's how I ended up out here. And I remember my first time coming out here to visit, and I'm on the freeway and we driving, and I'm like, "Those are cows." And my grandmother's like, "Yeah," and I'm all like, "Oh hell no, where y'all taking me? Them is real cows." Yeah. It was cool because like I went from like the hood to like my grandparents had the biggest house on the block. They had a pool. Wow. They had a jacuzzi. You know what I mean? Like my grandparents, they were very hardworking people, man. Like they set the bar for my work ethic. Like when you see how hard I work.
You know what
I mean? Yeah. Like, and my grandfather would be like, "Man, I work so hard to keep us on the nice side of the town. Why you want to ride all the way to the ghetto?" You know what I mean? Like I was just for the streets though.
Yeah.
But
so that kind of pertains to us being outcasts. Why we chose this life sometimes, right?
Yep.
What did you feel that sense of belonging in the streets more so? Like, is it in another perspective? Somebody could say you had no reason to find the street life?
Well, I mean, it was one of those things like, all right, you got to understand, growing up in the 80s in LA was very, very different because once my grandparents left and I was just there with my mom, like that was a realization of like, dude, my mom's a crackhead.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's one of those things like growing up in LA in the 80s, like a lot of people's parents were like, and I'm not sitting here with the whole like, woe is me bullshit. Like, hey,
no.
Man, that shit defined me.
That's your
you know what I mean?
That's
like, and it was just one of those things like, I just refused to quit, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, all right, here I am in LA with my mom moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the 54th Street School. You know what I'm saying? Hawthorne High.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, moving these ways. And then I come to my grandparents' house and we're in the suburbs. And it's like, hey, pull your pants up. Take your hat off when you come in the house. You know what I mean?
The whole
like flip of the script. You know what I mean? Like, my granny didn't play, homie. Mm-hmm. Like my granny did not play. You know what I mean? Like it was just that balance between the two. So like I was very fortunate for the fact that at a very young age, I learned how to move on both sides of the tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that's always gotten me buying a tattoo. You know what I mean? For the fact I can relate to anybody that comes through the door.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh man,
I think that's why
dirt ass poor. Yeah. Hey, I grew up with money. Yeah. Like I had it sometimes. Like
exactly. Yeah.
I stay relatable. You know what I'm saying? But then again, when we came up in the game, you treated people the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you come to the shop being cool, we'll be cool with you. If you come in, you walk into a tattoo shop in the late 90s or early 2000s with an attitude, bro, you're going to get ran up out there.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a scary place, man. It was. I mean, it still can be because, like you said, some people up in LA, there's some shops that you got a rivalry with another artist. It becomes almost like gang violence. It became like that in the graffiti world, and that still does exist in some places where. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to figure in the 90s, we had late 80s, early 90s, in LA, you had tag banging. You remember that?
Wait, so you don't bang?
You don't bang?
It's
like, no, I mean, I'm a tag banger.
Yeah.
LA in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s was, man, it was Wild Wild West, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, but tattooing saved my life.
What year was that when you came out to Hanford?
I bounced back and forth between LA and Hanford.
Okay.
So I ended up graduating in 96 from about 90, probably about like 90, 91. I would bounce back and forth from LA to Hanford. So I would be in Hanford during the summer. I love skateboarding.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I can't skateboard around LA in the 90s, the early 90s. You know, I lived this 62nd in Alvi, so I'm not riding no skate, not no real skateboard trying to do tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was one with no nose, one of the Walmart ones, like I'm riding this skateboard. Oh, look at these guys.
Can't have the nice one.
No, you can't come out there with one of the white boy skateboards. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll be in Hanford skateboarding. You know what I'm saying? Like using words like dude and rad and gnarly, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, all the white boys around me was, and they never treated me no different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I get back to LA, and I'm all like, hey, what you do this summer? I'm all, oh, man, it was awesome. Hey, what you say? I'm like, what? I said it was dope. No, this nigga said awesome, cuz. Like, no, man, I said it was,
that's the active
you know what
era.
I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the reality of it. You know what I mean? Like it was the reality of it. I mean, it was survival.
Did you do any college or any of that too? Or
no, I didn't do no college.
This is literally, bro. Like I'm literally learning a lot.
Yeah. Like, hey, bro. Like
that's what's crazy. And this is the fact. This is the fair example of how, like, bro, I've known you for so long, but do I really know you? I don't know their history until now. It's like. How many times you sat in a shop and another artist and you just sat and did this? And also shows in our work, I feel. Because now your work...
It's one of those things to where, like, for the people that know you and they really, like, you sit down and have these heart-to-hearts, you start to realize, like, this is why I love this motherfucker.
Right, exactly.
I knew there was a reason why I kept you in my life. I knew it was a reason why. Yeah. And when you have these conversations, it kind of, like, unfolds and it starts to make sense to you.
Yeah, a lot.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's dope about it.
Like you said, so the work ethic that built you... What was the next step? How'd you get into the graph culture and
it was one of those things.
Is it like,
no. So what happened was all right, after I graduated 54th, which is 6th grade, we for 7th grade, I went to Overwright Junior High School. Okay. So we got bussed out for that. Oh. So that was like my first real time going to school with like white people. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this is the 7th grade, bro. Right. I'm not talking like in the 60s or in the 50s, bro. This is like the 80s, the 90s. I'm in the 7th grade. I graduated in 96, so that puts it about what, 90, 91, somewhere around there. That was my first time ever going to school with like white people. So
being mixed in.
And there was this white dude that was in one of my class, and I saw that he could draw. I used to hide the fact that I could draw. Like I would kind of lightweight let people know that I could draw, but not to the.
Why is that though? You felt like
it was just one more reason to get singled out for being light skinned. Man, I forgot what was
that. Was he doing graph? Was he? Doing
he was doing graph. Yeah. Okay. You know, I'll be hot.
I got. And I'm driving this bus. I got you, bro.
Yeah. So I would see it, and I'm all like, hey, that's kind of dope. And I'm all like. Hey, bro, what is that? He's all, it's graffiti. I had seen like
that's the
graffiti.
Era when it's like graffiti's like on the rise.
You know what I'm saying?
Colors.
Like, and I had seen graffiti, but like in our hoods, it wasn't like real graffiti. It was like the stick figure, gangland stuff. Yeah. You know, the kind of shit that everybody want now that I think is, you know what I'm saying? Like
the actual Crips with the Bloods and the,
And then I seen that and I was like, what? He was like, hey, bro.
This is a style.
Remember, he had that book, the Wild Style book.
Yeah.
Remember that big graffiti book?
Yeah, it was like the Bible of graffiti.
Yeah, and he was
encyclopedia.
All, hey, check this out. And he gave it to me to take
I remember
home.
seeing that book and just being amazed by the stuff that was in New York and the things that were like shown from, like, how did you get up there? How did you, things that we're still trying to figure out. And I think, honestly, there was a guy I remember this was like in shop class.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man, I think his name was Adrian, bro. Shout out Adrian, wherever you are in this world, bro. I hope you're doing good. He used to have an afro. He was older than me, but he would come in and his binder and he would be like, no, he had a pick and everything, bro. Like he would have the books and he was the one that would give me the magazines, like the graph magazines. Yep. He was the one that taught me about different tips.
Yeah.
This is the bananas. This is or the Montana cans, the Germans and flaring. I just remember he would give me like a Ziploc bag full of tips.
Yep.
And I would go and try to mess around with plywood, primer it, try it again, get the hang of it, clog that tip. I'd go down to, remember Sugar Hill and things like that?
Oh,
Sugar Hill, bro. I'd go get the little restock. And then I used to get the little small, I don't know why, dude. I was that one dude that I was trying to get, that seems practical. I'm going to buy it. And it was the burner cans that are like this big. It looked like that Body Axe.
Yeah.
Mini sprays.
Like the little mini sprays.
Yes. Yeah. It was literally, bro, you can't get one letter out of that.
No. That book.
That's crazy.
He told me you could take it home. I started looking through it. For me, you know what I found like the most mesmerizing part about it? Like, hey, it's people that look like me doing this. You know what I mean? Like realistically, and I mean, when you come from certain cultural backgrounds, there are certain things that make you feel as though if you want to do something that people are telling you is not cool, know that somebody else did it. And that's one of the reasons why I stuck with the industry. Bro, let's be real.
Yep.
There are not a whole lot of tattoo artists that when I started tattooing 20 years ago, that looks like me.
Yeah.
And I wrote it out because people kept telling me I couldn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
against the grain, you already had the opposition,
Bro, it just made me want it even more. Yeah. And I'm that tight. Hey, tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
Tell me I can't. I want you to tell me I can't because watch me.
That's
and even where I started at Soul Link. I apprenticed at Soul Link. You know what I mean? And
Soul Link is
and Tulare, man, that's the longest running shop in Tulare. Hey, bro, I haven't talked to them in years. I still love them. You know what I mean? You know how the game goes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, I can't take that from them, bro. They gave me my start there.
Yeah. Quick pause on our chat to give a big thanks and shout out to today's sponsor, No Numbing Cream Tattoo Club. There's a lot of controversy that surrounds the usage of numbing cream during a tattoo session, and I totally understand. Every artist has their concerns. With No Numbing Cream Tattoo Club, they've crafted a unique formula that is effective, doesn't alter the skin's texture, and is completely safe. I've used it already on multiple clients, especially when we're doing those marathon sessions, and it really helps them sit comfortably. You could use it not just on tattooing, but there's body piercings, laser tattoo removal, laser hair removal, waxing, and permanent cosmetics. They provide an easy step-by-step instruction on how to apply. So if you're planning your next piece and know you'll be in the chair for a while, consider using No Numbing Cream Tattoo Club to make the experience easier for both you and your artist. Thanks again to No Numbing Cream Tattoo Club for sponsoring the podcast. Those of you listening or watching the video version of the podcast, I appreciate all the support that we've been getting from clients to listeners. You guys have been awesome. If this is your first time tuning in, don't forget to subscribe or follow the channel on any of the platforms where you catch your podcast so you don't miss out on any new episodes. All right, now let's get on with the show. Thank you again.
Dude, I got to apprentice. I apprenticed at Soul Link at the time that Matt Pardo worked there.
Oh, yeah.
And Matt Pardo, bro, like, Matt was doing the dopest color saturation work, which is crazy because now all he does is black and gray.
Black and gray, yeah.
Like, but like legitimately, like, whenever someone compliments me on my color saturation, in my head, I think
like, I got it from
Matt Pardo and my brother Steven.
Oh, Steven.
You know what I'm saying? My brother Steven,
yeah.
like that dude. Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
That's who gave me my like. That was like, bro. My brother Steven gave me my shot.
Yeah.
Like
what was he doing at the time? How old was he?
That was when we had Legends. That was when they were just getting ready to open up Legends. They had just opened Legends when we were in Tulare. Remember when I made the cards, Will Tattoo for Food?
Yeah, that's when you had that was your banner.
Yep.
Yeah.
My brother Steven gave me my shot, dude, as far as like my foot in the door. I apprenticed at Soul Link. Matt, man, that dude, the most amazing color saturating work. You know what I mean? Like, and you know how the game goes, bro. Sometimes you split for motherfuckers, but you'll always have love for them.
Yeah.
Hey, if I seen him on the side of the road stuck, I'd be like, hey, bro, do you need some help?
Yeah.
Outside of our bullshit, hey, bro, I owe you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we lack in our game right now.
Yeah.
That's gone from our industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see.
I'm not gone. I'm not gonna say gone. It's deteriorating.
Yeah.
That sense of loyalty, like,
I'm pretty grateful that I even had a start. You know what I mean? And the way I fell into this, I literally fell into this. And you say somebody told you, tell me I can't. That's what was told to me.
yeah.
You can't draw. Why do you want to do this? Literally. And you know what I mean? And it was one of those things that I needed to hear that because I just became a hermit.
Yep.
For 6 to 9 months. I was just sitting in my room getting this drawing down. Yeah. I was just kind of reminiscing on like how I got my push, like, cause you obviously had somebody pushed, not pushed you, but something or someone could like set you over that edge to be like, get into this. Apprentice.
I had that moment.
Okay, and then apprentice, tattoo,
do it.
Whatever. Yeah, you're 9 to 5 because I'm sure you've had jobs before this. What did you do before this? I don't even know.
Man, I did a little bit of everything.
Oh,
I did a little bit of everything.
You were just,
like
hustling.
I just hustled. I hustled. I had
a
few jobs. I worked at like Haagen-Dazs before.
Okay.
Dude, I worked at Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
I've worked at Italian restaurants, bro. I actually had a job one time setting up and tearing down mobile homes, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We show up, you got to take that siding off, climb underneath there, put the axles on. Worst job ever, dude. It was horrible.
When they come to like plot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, hey, we need this house going. You call us to come get it. Horrible. Worst job ever. My father-in-law had offered me a job at the time.
Yeah.
And you don't pass up a job that your new father-in-law just offered you.
It's like your test.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
wrong answer.
yeah, like, hey, no, I'm good. I'd rather sell drugs. Right. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Because like, and then my ex-wife was white, so you definitely can't pass it up from a white father-in-law.
What a situation, huh?
You know what I'm saying? So like, hey, bro, I'm telling you, my daughter always says I should write a book because she goes, Dad, you're legitimately the most interesting man in the world.
Hey.
Like, she was like,
you're telling your story right now.
But no, dude, like I got very fortunate to be around like dope artists. And it's crazy because like at the time that I started tattooing, I had just got custody of my daughter. All right, dude, you have to do something.
Yeah.
You have to do something. So I just like dove in. Like I got to the point where I wanted to be like, back in the day, apprentices, we would have to draw the artwork for the artist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't realize that back then. Like, you know
Remember
what I'm
the flash racks? I kind of want to get one for nostalgia.
Oh my God, dude.
I want to get a flash rack. I want people to tell us like a comment to be like, I got a tattoo from a flash rack. Number 32, page 6.
Dude,
you know,
remember those? Like,
yeah, man.
But then it's like how we were saying earlier. All right, back in the day, remember we didn't book appointments. You had an appointment book because every once in a while someone would book one.
You brought up something interesting when you walked in, and I want you to share that. Yeah, that's right.
Like appointments. Yeah. Like, dude, we didn't do that. No. Like, you woke up. Like, all right, the shop opened at 12. You got at the shop at 11 o'clock. Everyone cleaned the shop together. Yeah. Get everything ready. You open the doors.
And just wait.
You know what I mean? Like
literally a front area. You're waiting. This is the fishing time when, all right, who's next?
Yeah.
I got this walk in. All right, I'm next on the rotation.
All right, what about this? We can now take weekends off. Bro, you see me. I'm out there racing. But back then, bro, you didn't take a weekend off. No. You did not. Bro, those are days you wanted to be in there. Yeah.
Time.
You're like, hey, I hope other people don't come in because I can catch the walk-ins.
To this day, that hits me sometimes when the whole Saturdays and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? It's not like that anymore. It still hits me where I'm like, I got to be here. I worked in Gilroy, and I was one of the ones that worked on Sundays because that was the Mexican crowd, the Hispanic crowd. I was the one that spoke Spanish. So I was there, and then maybe the apprentice would walk in, and it would just be us two.
Yeah.
And then the owner would pop in and out or whatever. Shout out Ariel. You're cool as heck, man. And the Cruise Creations over there in Gilroy, that's where I worked at.
Yeah.
If you want to work Sundays, go ahead, you know. He does the dopest, like Filipino.
Yeah.
Killer at Polynesian tribal portraits. You walk in, he had like airbrush art on the walls that he would do. He was a character, dude. He taught me a lot though. And that was the thing though. He hired me as a color artist coming off of a seasonal job because I dropped all pride of a tattoo artist. And I was like, I'm going to go back in the system. Yeah. Baby on the way, mad bills to pay. And, you know, so I went into this, I wasn't afraid to work.
Yeah.
And I knew if I was going to start from scratch, no clients, I knew about that you're talking about, where we're just sitting and waiting. Yep. I can't do that.
Yep. Like I can't.
No, it's a whole new area, a whole new setup. So I was like, but I had
my very first setup I got from Spanky from Soul-Link. I got from Spanky from Soul-Link, dude.
Yeah.
I got my setup from him, man. Like, dude, honestly, it was like a combination of things. Sketch, my boy Sketch. I love Sketch, man. Yeah. Sketch was my neighbor. And like he was a tattoo artist. Well, this is before I ended up meeting Felix and Spanky and everybody from Soul-Link through Sketch.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Sketch was my neighbor. Me and my ex-wife at the time. I was married before, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my ex-wife, he was our neighbor. So he was like, yeah, I tattoo. And I love tattoos, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, and that was a time where like realistically, like, all right, this is 96, 97, 98. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, all right, back then, black people wasn't getting tattoos. It wasn't like, it was nowhere near to the level it is now. Like, so when I was getting tattoos, niggas thought I was a weirdo. Oh, he getting tattooed like them white boys. Oh, well, I like it. Yeah. I will watch him tattoo and I'll be over there every day.
Oh, at the shop?
No,
or
at
the
his house.
Okay,
you know, back then, this was before that was.
At the shop, at the house.
Yeah, no, this was at the house.
Okay.
And I would be over there and I was doing like some lightweight electrical work, trying to stay legit. You know what I'm saying? Trying not to get my wife to leave me, which she did. And one day I hit him with that famous thing that we always hear. You ready?
What's that?
I know how to draw.
Oh, no. I wasn't ready for that.
Any artists out there, they know what I'm...
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
I know how to draw.
I was thinking like, wait, what was it? Yeah, there it is.
Yep. And he was like, oh, for real? And I was like, yeah. And I got some of my artwork and I brought it over to him and he looked at it and he was all like, hey, bro, you can really draw. He was like, hey, bro, I'm not going to lie.
At least you proved...
he was
you
like...
backed it up.
He was like, hey, bro, I'm not going to lie. Because, you know, Sketch, he from Florida. Right. Sketch looks white, but he's really not. He is a Boricua. So, you know what I'm saying? He's white, but he grew up in Florida, Miami, Florida. He grew up in all Puerto Rican neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just looks that way. You know what I'm saying? Sketch saw my artwork, and he was like, bro, you could really draw. Like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I'm from Florida. I grew up around, like, Boricuas, you know what I'm saying? And he was all like, look, bro, you don't meet too many black people that can draw like this, dude. I'm like, he's like, hey. He goes, I'm not saying there aren't that can draw, but he's like, it's like finding a unicorn.
Right. You're the
and
unicorn
I'm like,
at the time.
he goes, dude, like, you ever think about tattooing? I'm like, I don't know, man. So I will be over there watching them tattoo. Like, tattooed out the house back then. You stay busier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's one of them things that'll never go away.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how many motherfuckers do you know, right? And again, I'm not knocking nobody else.
I remember when I first started, I had a line out the house.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that was when I was, I made the most money out the house. I blew the most money out the house. But like, hey, out the house, homie. It's kind of like how trunk music, you know what I mean? Like, hey, out the house, bro. Every artist that came up in our era, at one point in time, we was tattooing out the house.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we make fun of kitchen wizards.
We do. There's a reason though, but there's something that separates us though. Yeah. And a lot of my clients like that knew me since the since like the dream of what I wanted it to become something. I said, look, I was working for this. I was working not to stay at the house, and especially during COVID, I wasn't gonna have a facility that is a license to do this for them to try to force us back into the house. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it here. And I was working out of the house to build this, to get out of the house, to be in a shop, to have an establishment.
Well, I just got tired of working in other people's shop, bro. I mean, I've almost worked at every single shop in Tulare. You know what I'm saying? Before I opened up Art Life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I worked at Soul Link. I worked at Diamond Ink. You know what I'm saying? I worked with David at 92 Proof, which that was a huge boost for my career. You know what I'm saying? We had legends. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, like, by the time I opened up the shop, which, all right, I had the building. I got the building 2014, bro. So this is 10 years.
We're about the same, didn't we? Because
I got the building in 2014.
But your grand opening
I didn't open until 2015.
Right. I got you. There you go.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, I've had the building for 10 years.
We had our grand opening, and then we shot right back to your grand opening. I remember that.
Dude, which I'm not going to lie, bro. My personal opinion, dude, that was the perfect balance of who I am for a grand opening. I loved my grand opening, bro. Thank you again.
Man. No, thank you for like
David Tower, my boy Frank Wells, Green Eyes. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that was fun, man. I wanted to really do something, bro. When I had the homies come through with the Lolos at the end of the night,
that was tight.
Realistic, come on, bro.
That was tight. That was like your.
I had a taco truck out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had bro. And this was before that was
the banner,
man.
You know, that was like the spot.
And then, like, for me, it was so dope because I was all like, because you guys mean so much to me in my career. I told my artists, I said, look, we're gonna do something different.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? We're not going to tattoo for the grand opening.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And I'm all, look, let's do something different. I said, look, man, I know a lot of solid people in this game. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want my friends to be here because I wouldn't be here without y'all.
Right.
Like, for real, man. Yeah. Like, but I wouldn't have been here without y'all. So that's why I wanted to have y'all there. And I was like, look, this really means something. Just like at the end of the day, when everyone's like, well, what do we owe you? I don't want nothing from you. I don't want, you guys came, bro. Like, to have such dope artists tattooing at a grand opening. I was trying to show everybody from the gate, let's do this for the love of the art, homie.
We had hand on the wheel, per se, of how are we going to drive our business. And from everything, because I've mentioned it, I had my mentors, I had my business mentors, then like the apprenticeship mentors and people that I learned from, that I quickly knew that it's expansion, but at the same time, let's gather all the things that we've learned to now drive our own. Yeah. And so like you doing yours that way and having the invite of collabed artists, like that's why I try to do the same thing. When I went to work in the Bay South Bay is when I seen a community. Yeah. I literally saw the community of artists, and that was a paint night in Morgan Hill. Like a paint night. There was 12 artists, all of us sitting down, and it looked like class, dude. Yeah. It was wild. They had this big
dude, it was about the art. Like, all right, I remember like, all right, to me, Jeff Pickens. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. That's my dude. I love his work. Yeah. Like, I love Jeff's work. Jeff has his own style. Jeff, like,
shout out Jeff.
Jeff Pickens, bro, he's dope. And I remember Jeff being like, you don't watercolor? And I'm like, no, Mr. Pickens, sir. You don't, it's Jeff Pickens. Yeah. Bro, I grew up when we had respect for the motherfuckers that was above us, bro. Mm-hmm. We would look forward to conventions because, for one, it was time for us to like, hey, bro, like we would clear those. We shut the convention down. Remember?
Yeah, I remember
how many
that,
years will we be the
poles
last?
down and we'd be the last ones. And you know, I got that from the people I would work with on the road too.
And you're like, hey, bro, I'm gonna have this thing in my shop. We'll be here till 1. Bro, when did you ever see me tap out?
No, absolutely.
And I ain't never came here and left with my pockets empty. Never, not once.
And I always made sure if I ever had an artist here, like guest spotting or come and hang out, I want to make sure you're taken care of and make sure like there was work. And it's crazy because I was like, Jesse, rest in peace again. This was gonna be our spot, right? Before we went and like he went and opened the shop in Gilroy, but this was gonna be the thing. He was gonna move in with me. Like we had this whole plan. But he was like, yo, I'm kind of scared to go out there because every time I go out, like I'm working. But he was saying in the fact that he just knew that was the momentum, like the way you said you carried your momentum. But did you realize what you did too for your grand opening is you painted the picture of what this is. It's like you got your artists together and at the time and you just tell them
like, look, man, let's
look, like you guys are working here. I don't know what you guys shops came from, but I'm about to show you my idea of all this.
Yeah, I just wanted to introduce something different.
And that's what I meant. All the artists at the time, which, like you say, be as it may, bro. Wherever they are now, if they're with you or not, at one point those people were there. Yeah. So it's kind of like,
I mean, any artist that I've ever worked with, when they come to work with me, I would tell them like, look, you're not obligated to be with me forever. I just want to be a part of your story. I want to be for you what I wish somebody would have been for me when I started where you at. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like, hey, shout out to like anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody ever worked at the shop?
Yeah. I remember we were just like, you know,
it was kind of a trip, man, because like, it was kind of like you hit me up, hey, bro, I'm getting the building. I'm with my shop and I'm all, guess what?
I remember that.
I'm all, guess what? You're like, what? You're like, hey, bro, you can come out here, whatever. I'm all, guess what, bro? I got a building. I remember Joseph Cabela. Dude, fuck, that dude's dope.
Yeah.
Like Joseph Cabela to me, like, my personal opinion, because you know you gotta say that before you say shit nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my personal opinion, when it comes to black and gray realism into Larry, that dude's killing it. I love that dude. You know what I'm saying? I remember I ran into him. I was trying to get a hold of him on the internet. You know how it is getting a hold of us artists.
Yeah. Well, even back then to now was even different too. Yeah. Yeah, back then was even.
You know what I'm saying? You got to figure this 2015, 2016. And I run into him at a gas station, which I've always been a fan of that kid's work. Always. Like, I knew that kid was going to be fucking where he's at right now. So I ran into him and was all like, bro, I'm opening up a shop. I know you travel a lot. I don't care. Just make my shop your home base. I know you're going places. Yeah. And he's all, I just got a building. And I'm like,
oh, you did tell me about this story. Yeah. One of the times you came out here, you're mentioning that.
Yeah, like that dude, which I've been following his work for years, dude. Like, and that's another thing I think that's wrong with our industry, because we used to be able to talk about artists that we like and admit that, like, hey, no, I don't care about your money. I want you to get the best tattoo possible. Like, when people come to me and ask me for portraits, hey, can I do a portrait? Yeah. Do I enjoy doing them? No, bro. They scare me. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Client will come in and they'll say, oh, this must be one of your easiest tattoos. And I'm like, I'll tell you what, every tattoo has its, I don't care, like.
I don't care how big it is, how big, how small. Like
small something. And they're like, oh, this might be the, you know. So I've literally done a, I don't know, 2-minute tattoo. And I can't tell you, I'm not going to do my eyes closed. Yep. Which you still have to apply yourself. Yep. That's what I'm trying to say.
You have to.
It doesn't matter what it is. That's experience, what you're talking about. You're doing it for the person's experience. Yep. And, you know, and our issue is that you're mentioning the whole, now you're finally giving yourself your days off, which I'm having still a hard time. And I know it's still hard for us to. We have to. Yeah.
You have to, for real.
Yeah.
Like for me. Yeah. All right, for me, I got sober. You know, this is 5 years for me. It's clean and sober. Thank you, man.
That's a big thing, man.
Thank you, man. Like, hey, what's crazy is that a lot of people, once I got sober, like, they saw a shift. Yeah. And I'll tell you, like.
And honestly, I don't see a shift. Like, I still see you the same. When you came in here to tattoo, to the way you were your phone, on the phone calling me, or like the way you just came in and greeted me, I still see you the same. Yep. If Jesse ever had a smoke, he knew he would just go do his thing in the car, come back, and it's something with him and his client. Like, he would just smoke with his client. Yeah. So I'm like, you guys do your thing. It doesn't affect you, and you're done for the night. Handle your thing. I just need to do this little bit of shift. It's changed the better my health.
Yep.
People see they saw a shift in you. I just see you as you're still the same old, like solid.
I appreciate that.
So
man. I'm openly talking about my fear of God. I'm a God-fearing man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I tell people, hey, you don't got to believe what I believe, but you're going to respect it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things, man. Like, I got sober.
Like you said, tattooing saved you too. We got to touch back up on that too. But
like, tattooing just helped me get grounded, man. It kept me focused. I felt as though my drinking and the other things that I was doing was starting to affect my work, bro. Like, for real. Like, I don't want to say I didn't care. I was kind of like on cruise control.
Autopilot.
Like, I was banging out clean work, but I wasn't trying to do
like
anything. You know how sometimes you're like, hey, I know we didn't talk about this, but I did those white highlights right there and made it, oh yeah. Like, to where they know this is why I'm paying him this, bro. Like, and dude, I just had to make some sense of my life, man. And getting sober, like, bro, it really helped me remember why I started tattooing. It just becomes mundane. You gotta have something, bro. Tattooing coming up in the generation that we came up in, tattooing will consume you, homie. Especially the way we grew up. You'll be at the shop 7 days a week, not even realizing, like, hey, you're losing your whole ass family right now. Yeah. Like, you finna lose everything. You're doing it. You're sitting here gone 7 days a week, 2 weeks at a time, thinking like, I'm doing this for my family. And
it's a gift. It's a gift and it's a curse.
Yep.
I can't stress that enough, man. We're married to that machine, literally. Without that machine, aside of the whole, like, you know, stick and poke, the picking tattoos, that machine, without it, we can't do what we do.
No. The best part about that machine is we could do what we do wherever we want to. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, it got lost as an art form and became a trade. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and man, I'm really not trying to offend nobody, but for real, it went from it wasn't for everybody to do, bro.
No.
Like, it wasn't for everybody to do. Like, bro, you have people out there. If you put a piece of paper in front of me right now, it's like, draw something. This is how you know the era that I grew up in. Bro, I'm going to do something with a skull.
The skull. I was thinking,
you know what I mean? Like a skull. You know what I mean? Like, look at all my earlier artwork, bro. Like, skull, sketch.
Yeah.
I got skulls down, bro.
Because that was like, you're whipped into a skull.
You know what I mean?
I was whipped into roses.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think as artists, sometimes we forget, like, hey, bro, you got to have a life too.
Right.
Like, you have to have a life too. Like, you have to. And what's crazy is you have some artists where you see, like, man, how are they as busy as they are, but still have that ground because they have an outlet, bro.
Yeah.
Like you, bro, your archery, like, dude.
Yeah. I'm able to now put not a break, but give myself my work time.
Yeah.
And now pick up on the things I used to do.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up on, like, my archery, on painting and like, and doing different things. Like, those are things I did before tattooing.
Yeah.
And then now, think about it. As long as time as you've been tattooing and like all stuff, like, I want to get into the things that we do is for like your hobbies and stuff. But before you tattooed, imagine you picking back those things you used to do, and you're like, hey, now I could. Yeah. But that's a long stretch.
It's the same thing with me and my RC shit. Like, a lot of people think, like, oh, he just got into this. Like, honestly, like, back in the day, dude, I was like trying to get into it. Life happens. You know what I mean? Like, you start having kids, you start having to work, you're starting to have to do things. And then, like, I became a tattoo artist, and I came up in the era of, we was rock stars, bro. I worked with David Tower. I was a rock star, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, in my eyes.
Shout out
David Tower. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, like, that's my boy. I love David. For me, I think I got to a point where I had to realize, Chris, you don't got to prove yourself no more. They see you. Like, they don't got to acknowledge it, but they see you. That's the reality of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I did it because I want anybody, like, hey, bro, you can do whatever the fuck you put your mind to.
Absolutely.
Whatever you put your mind to. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there's probably like a 5 foot tall Asian kid that want to go to the NBA, and everybody telling them that's not for us. Yeah. Hey, homie, do it. At least try it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Just do it.
Use that as fuel.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's always been me, bro. Like, always, like, man.
Yeah, that's
it always motivates me.
After your apprenticeship, where did you go with it? Where did you?
That was when I tried to. All right, so after my apprenticeship, it was like, hey, bro, you got this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got this. You know what I'm saying? So like,
how long did you apprentice for? Was it
like man, I was like 6 months, bro. Like 6 months, and it was just like,
cool.
but like, dude, I was drawing.
Fast.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I was drawing. You know what I mean? Like
accelerator
and it was just
program,
like,
you know?
yeah, like. You know, it gets to that point where, like, when you're first bringing in your pictures and they're tearing them apart, and then now you're bringing them the pictures and they're like, all right, well, cool. You know what I mean? I can't keep helping you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so then you start to realize, like, oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So then I tried to hit up a couple of shops. It wasn't happening. So that's when I did the out the house thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
for how long would you say were you like?
Oh, it was only a couple of months, man. So I then, because you know me, I've always been a low rider.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was when I had my pink car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all my low lows, I've been low riding for years. I've been in Majestics for years. You know what I'm saying? And I showed up to the shop in my pink car, my daughter car, the one I built for my daughter.
Yeah.
And I remember like walking up to the shop and I saw my brother Steven. This is before, like, when I tell you from day one, I walk into the shop. Look in there, I see this white dude with a shaved head, these big old plugs, and I'm all, oh, this dude's straight white power. He not gonna.
Oh man,
I'm just like, hey, bro, that was.
He's gonna watch this.
Hey, bro, you know the generation I came up in, bro. Come on, you know how it was back then.
Yep.
And I showed up, man. I had pictures of tattoos. I had my black book. I had oil paintings. I had like just
that's your
art.
Yeah.
Like art. And I'm just like, I'm trying to sell myself. Like the whole time my brother Steven's like, all right. Remember, that's where my career like boomed.
Took off.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what really like put my name into Larry is when we started at Legends. You know what I mean? Because it was all like, oh, the black dude with the LA on his face.
I was like, that's how you get marked. That's like,
And man, I just remember thinking like, man, this dude is straight white power. So the whole time I'm talking to him, he's like, oh man, that's crazy. And he's like this. Hey, is that your car out there?
Looking at the car.
Yeah, and I'm all like, yeah, man. He goes, that a Monte Carlo? I'm all, yes, an 83 Monte Carlo, but I converted it to an 87. He goes, that's not a real luxury sport. I'm all, in my eyes, it is. You know what I mean? And like, he was like, checking on my work, and he was like, how long you been doing this? And I'm all like, 7-8 months at this point. You know what I mean? Like I had apprenticed. I'm honest, like 7-8 months. And he was like, hey man, are you open to constructive criticism? And are you willing to try new shit? And I'm all like, yeah, man, I'm down, man. Hey, can we check out your car? Like my brother owns that car now.
That's hard.
Like he owns that car now. You know how it is, man, when you get ready to open up the shop, or you just open and it's just like, hey, I'm not trying to owe nobody nothing. I'm not trying to be in nobody's pocket. So it was all like, my brother was like, hey, bro, sell me the car. Like, you got to keep it in the family. So my brother ended up buying that car from me. My brother owns that car. That's hard as fuck. That car is hard, dude. And
thing's out there banging in Pismo.
Yep. And cool. My brother gave me my shot, man. My brother Steven, like, dude, that was what... That opened my eyes to where I had to start realizing like, hey, bro, you can't keep thinking all white dudes with bald heads is white power.
Yeah, you start getting used to that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'll tell you, like, all right, so there, I'm at Legends. So I just got done apprenticing. I'm learning from fucking Felix Delgado. I'm learning from Matt Pardo.
Yeah.
Dope artists, bro. Like, real talk.
What a start.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Start,
like,
dude,
so I go from there to where I go to Legends. And I'm with Stephen Broyles. I'm with John Spring. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro.
That's crazy. I didn't even know about that time frame.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, God is good. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, my whole career, like, dude, like, I never would have thought that I would have had those opportunities. And then I get to go work with David Totwer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, hey, bro, he went from doing all that to where out of nowhere, like, oh, this nigga went and opened up his own shop. Like, man, it's been a very wild ride, man. But I've loved every minute of it. And the bad, the good and the bad. Because, you know,
that's what I'm saying, man. The whole
partied. You never partied.
The gift and the curse, we've gained a lot with tattooing, but we've also lost, if not just as much,
you always
more.
gonna lose something, though. You always, no matter what, like, hey, we forget about that balance, bro.
Yeah.
We always forget, like, hey, bro, every day ain't gonna be puppy dogs and rainbows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bad day ain't a bad life, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have to realize that sometimes. We got to remember that. Like, and that's with sobriety I've learned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, it was a lot of times I did shit and convinced myself I was doing it for myself. It's like, oh, I'm going to show them. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for them.
Yeah.
But tattooing has always kept me grounded, bro. I love this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Like, tattooing saved my life, bro. Like, never.
Who knows where we'd be without tattooing?
Without it.
Because I'll be honest, like where we would be, like you,
bro,
myself,
I'll probably be dead or in prison. Real talk.
A lot of our
honest to God truth. Like I would be if I did not start tattooing and have it to ground me, bro. I could honestly say I'd probably be dead or in prison for real, because I was stupid. Yeah. Like I was stupid. Like for real. Like I made. Like I tell people all the time, hey, I was a horrible human being. That's why I'm trying to right some of my wrongs. My biggest fear is like, hey, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I believe what I believe, and as long as it's stopping me from doing the dumb shit I used to do, hey, let me believe it. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Because my biggest fear is like getting to my God and him telling me like, hey, you didn't know me before men, so I don't know you before my father turned away from me.
I've heard that with different preachers, different readings.
Like it's scary to me. You know what I mean? And like I tell people, I'm like, hey, all right, well, if you think I got it wrong, it's better to me robbing you because you know you came with me.
You know what?
You know what I mean? Like,
you know what's crazy? The biggest thing though too, like you said, those in the past, something that happened on the side of the road, you pull over as the person you are now. It doesn't take much to have that mindset, but for you to realize that it's best to have that now.
Oh yeah.
And to, you know.
Well, I mean, it came with sobriety, bro, because drinking kept me numb, bro.
Yeah.
Like it kept me numb.
A facade of things and
You know what I mean? And with sobriety, came accountability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like real talk.
To find these things that you're doing now, sponsored race, RC Racer, like, what's up with that, dude? Let's talk about how'd you get in? So you used to do
I used to race back in the day. I never wrote it out. You know what I mean? Like,
is this your therapy?
I had to grow. Oh yeah.
Is that like, cause I see you on the weekends,
like, dude, it's, you know what it is for me? Like, bro, I think everyone should have a nostalgic hobby because as adults, we forget that child side of us. Yeah. But you still got to have that balance because it's a part of you. It's who you are. Right. So like I said, I got back into it, man. I said I wasn't going to get back into it because it is not cheap, bro.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It is not cheap. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how's it go? The difference between men and boys or the price of their toys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, bro, I got sober. And the thing with sobriety came, like, I'd open up my wallet and I still have money in it.
Was it cigarettes, beer, everything? Like, you were
I still smoke cigarettes. Horrible habit, but
still
like, man, I was but then again, like I drank though. I mean, like I big drank. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a black dude in a white man's world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at it like this, bro. Like, and this is like one of the references that I like to use, and like I have a very weird sense of humor. I tell people all the time. I love it, though. Then like me and David, bro, we were like we bounced off each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? We work well together. The thing with David is like we're too much alike, so we couldn't work together for very long. You know what I mean? Because like while he was talking about himself, I was trying to talk about myself. Right. So it was, but it's all love. Yeah. You know what I mean? But dude, I've had a very, very fun career, bro. I've got to be around some dope artists. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Especially the times when we got a chance to do our conventions together. Yeah. And that was fun, and we combined our everything, man. Our knowledge, the time when it was just me and you in one booth.
Remember your sketchbook?
Yeah, dude.
Remember your sketchbook? Yeah.
I ran into it the other day because I was cleaning out the back, and I was like, I have a sketchbook.
You mailed it to me.
Yeah.
Bro, like sending cards to people like, hey, bro, let me get your card. Like, remember artists? I still have a card collection to this day. Yeah. We would go to conventions, bro, like, and it was a big deal to like get other artists' cards. To me.
I have a bag in the back full of cards and stickers and lanyards.
From
everywhere.
From everywhere. Well, I mean, I know you. Hey, what I always tell you, bro, you remind me of the Fast song, Samsonite, man.
Samsonite, Fast.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, shout out Fast. You know what I'm saying? But every time, dude, you remind me of Samsonite, man.
The nights we were here till 3 in the morning, watching the sunrise. Man. I remember Jesse and us would be like, this isn't right. We're watching the sun rise. And we're tattooing.
Yeah. I I miss the days like that. I just don't understand like how we just can't come to a point where it's just like, look, bro, like we're all doing something. You know what gets me the most, bro? Like realistically, like back in the day, and this, I know a lot of people are gonna have this argument, but like this is how I see it.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you had flash, you paid for that flash to be able to put it up in your shop.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Like you paid for it.
Yeah. Someone would even come with their flash to sell it
to you, and you
would put it up on the wall.
And I miss the days where like, hey, bro, we would have everybody had the same shop minimum across the board. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was
it's
all
kind of
across
the same
the
with
board.
barbers. So, for instance, our downtown has barbers and beauty salons.
Yeah,
and they kind of have one like agreement in a sense. Because how does that look to have either or undercut or
you know what I mean?
You know,
like,
it's like.
You ever do 50-50 at one point in your career?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like it was like that. So like.
So I had to, sometimes when we got bigger pieces, knowing that it was 50-50, I would tally that up or be like, okay, I know if this is going to be this.
So I think because of those days, that's why we feel bad. Like, you sure you want, my minimum's $100. You sure you don't want to do something else? Like, hey, you got a tattoo that you want to clean up that won't take me that long to do? I do $100 minimum for anything under an hour.
Yeah.
So I tell them, I'm like, hey, if we do it in under an hour, just $100. If
So
we hit the hour mark, it's $150.
I do the same when it's like, I got my A1 since day ones, bro. And believe it or not, and that's what sucks. Like, you do feel like, yo, this person's been there. But then they also respect, because then at the same time, it was like, well, then they also do respect the fact that it's like, this is what you do. You got mouths to feed, whatever. This is your, you know. So then they'll end up tipping me up to that, whatever the minimum would be.
Yeah.
But so like, let's say they come in, somebody comes in and they want something small. And I'm like, well, all right, it'll be 1 to 150. They come in small. I'm like, being the shop owners or even, you know, Becca, she'll be like, whatever, $100. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Or 80, just even to undercut ourselves.
Yeah.
But like some people that don't understand it, I'm like, here's why though. You know, or I'll do it online because it's hard for me to price online. I'm like, dude, come in.
Well, I tell you, look, I do an hourly rate.
Yeah.
Well, how long do you think it's going to take? Dude, if I was a psychic, do you think I'd be having this conversation right now? Like, it is not to be a dick, but it's like
2 hours ago, I had this conversation with someone.
Like, and it's like, and it's like one of those things where like, I realistically stop and think what you're asking me, because if I could predict the future, do you really think I would be having this conversation with you right now? You know what I mean?
This is some knowledge we're giving out to the people that are listening.
Well, and you know what? I blame like a lot of like the way the industry has gone because of that. Because something with the industry has shifted to where like on both sides there's this sense of entitlement. Whatever happened to the days of like,
I was going to talk about entitlement.
Like, hey, bro, like be cool. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, there was one time when we had legends. Mm-hmm. Some people come in and they're like, oh, I wanted to see about getting a tattoo. And at the time, I was the only one available. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the front booth. You know how it is? Hey, bro.
I got stories about being
in that front booth. That's like being the first chair at the barber. You know what I mean?
I remember fighting another artist.
Oh, bro.
I was next.
So, all right, I'm into Larry. So they walk in. Not only is it the first first booth, you got a black dude sitting in the first booth. First booth, motherfuckers is like,
you come on like the prairie dogs, like
what the fuck is happening right now? Like what?
That's funny.
Wait, hold on. I know the dude in the first booth is not always the best guy or he's the newest guy, but y'all got a black dude in there too. What are y'all trying to pull over?
Where's your manager?
Yeah, like, hey, they're looking like, hey, is Ashton Kutcher finna come out somewhere? Am I getting punked?
You ever get asked as the owner here? And you just pop up like, I am the owner.
Yeah, oh yeah, since I opened Art Life, yeah. Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's the best, man. That's like, funny. And my brother Steven was all like, well, he's available right now. And then the lady goes, is there anyone else can do it?
Did you hear that too or no?
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. And then my brother Steven, hey, like I said, my brother, man, that man, bro. Yeah. Like that man, like never in a million years. Yeah. When I was growing up in LA and somebody that came to me when I was at 54th Street on the playground and told me, hey, you finna meet this little skinny white dude that looked like Smeagol, and you gonna love him to death. You gonna love him like a brother. You take a bullet for this white boy. Yeah. You know what I tell him? I don't even know no white people. What is you talking about? But hey, that's
yeah, Steven's so cool, man. He's so cool.
Stephen Broyles.
There it is.
And he got my initial, that's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. He's always held me down.
That's awesome.
Stephen told her, hey, if my brother can't do it, ain't nobody in this shop finna tattoo you.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh. So is he gonna do your tattoo? Yeah, that's fine. And guess what? I killed that motherfucker.
That's right.
My brother, when I was in the back getting the artwork together, he was all, hey, you better kill this tattoo right now.
No pressure.
He like,
no pressure.
Hey, bro. He goes like, hey,
but
bro.
You just got profiled.
Yeah, he was all like, hey, bro, you better kill this motherfucker.
Oh, man.
And I think the lady wanted, like, it was something memorial related, like, bro.
Yeah.
And when are you ready? This is why I love what I do. Because after all that, she got up, and this is when we had the big mirrors and shit. She got up and she looked and she said, oh my God, my mother would love it. And she started crying.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I changed her. Changed her life forever because now she gonna look at a motherfucker that look like me and see them. That's what I love about what I do, bro. Yeah. Hey, how many times have you seen me tattooing and you see me interacting with clients and you're like, this nigga's a hustler. Yeah. Like he gets along. I get along with everybody, bro.
We come from a different start where that's what you had to have a mouthpiece, and the ones that don't shows. I'll see it at a convention where clients will even tell me that they sit and they choose your booth and you get into talking. It's like, I've seen 100 portfolios. Yep. I sat here because you actually talked to me. And others are even almost back facing the front end of it. Yep. And they're just like, on their phone or something. And I'm like, because I come from the Central Valley. Let me tell you where I come from.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? It's like, but not even that. Out in our own shop, in where we are, we have that. You know? And then back to like your grandpa and your grandma's hustle that they instilled into you.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean.
My family instilled into me. My work ethic from my first job to the next to you, Long Johns to whatever it is, and that carried on. We were building our own customer service.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and all right, when we were coming up, bro, there was no Instagram. We had MySpace.
MySpace was, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you really wasn't making no money off of MySpace.
Had boots on the ground.
Yeah, bro. All right, what we would do is, David Tower taught me this. Mm-hmm. So what we would do is we would get, you draw up whatever you wanted to say, 92 proof, tattoo, da-da-da-da-da. You do the 4 printout, you cut it, you take the stack, bro. We hit fucking parking lots.
I remember
in
the
people's
flyer
fucking
days.
windows.
I remember the flyers.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
bro,
remember the flyers, man. That's crazy.
You had your card everywhere you went. Bro, I couldn't even tell you last time. I ain't ordered cards in years, bro.
This is all, dude. I have like 5 cards left right there.
Like, dude, I haven't ordered cards in years, bro. Like, you got a card, I'm all, it's 2024, homie.
Yeah.
Hey, pull out your phone.
Pull out your phone.
The link. And for me, like, I feel like I'm an OG in this game.
In my wallet, I have a stack of cards because of that, because of the flyer days. I don't need to, but I did. I think it's that sense of like.
Well, it's not as cheap as it used to be, so I stopped spending the money on it because it take away from my RC cars.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I put that in the gears.
Man, that's a set of tires right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I was gonna do the whole like, I want a bunch of my tattoos on there, and I'm all like. One of the reasons I think I've been able to stay in the game so long is because, hey, bro, I made my own lane and I've stayed in it. Can't nobody take that from me. Yeah. I've made my own lane in the game and I stayed in it. So when I made my first business card is when I did. That's the only business card I've ever had. You remember that card? Like, we'll tattoo for food.
Because again, that was your convention banner.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And dude, I never made another card because I couldn't top it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that card, like, bro, like to this day, like people are like, hey, that card's like still up at this bar. Crazy. Or, still up at this place. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I post stuff on Instagram, you can see it in my background, and people are like, hey, you have a picture of yourself in your garage? And I'm all, if I don't love me, who else will? Right. Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you mad? You wish you had a picture of yourself.
Is that your small talk?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like, man.
And
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, dude. And that card for me, like, I remember doing that business card. It like made people curious about me. Yep. Like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, and I came into the game knowing I was gonna stand out. So I said, fuck it, stand out, nigga.
Yeah.
Realistically, like when I did the
leave your footprint,
Yeah, my grandmother, when I showed my grandmother my business card, mind you, my grandmother and them, they're that generation who To this day, when my grandmother walk out the house, her pants is creased and she looks not. If she's going to Walmart, she's dressed like she's going to church for real.
Yeah.
So my grandmother saw my card and was all like, "Oh my God, why would you do that? People are gonna think we're poor." So for a Christmas present one year for her, I had my card blown up and framed.
Nice.
And she opened it up for Christmas and she was like, "Oh my God," but she hung it up.
What do they think at your like breakthrough of your career per se? Like when I'm gonna open up my shop and
no, it wasn't even then.
Well, when was
it wasn't even then. When I opened up my shop and everything, my grandfather, like my grandpa, I was very fortunate to have 2 sets of grandparents, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like 2 sets. So my biological grandfather and then my grandpa Jimmy, bro, night and day.
Yeah.
My biological grandpa, my grandpa Billy.
Yeah.
Psh, bro, that's me. You know, that's the original Slick right there. Okay. Like he was the life of the party, but then my grandpa Jimmy, straight L7. You know what I'm saying? Went to work every day, worked hard. So that's what I'm saying. Like I got that balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, I've had a very wild ride in this career. Mm-hmm. Very, very wild ride. But I've been very fortunate enough though, like to be blessed with people like you in my life. Yeah. My brother Steven.
Likewise, man.
David, like John Spring, like not only that,
I'm so thankful for all my clients, man. Shout out to all of our clients.
I love my clients. I have the best clients in the world, dude.
Yeah.
Like I love my clients. Like for real. Like dude, like because I got some solid clients.
Yeah, they understand everything, man. They've seen the way we operate, you know.
Dude, I rarely take on a new client. Right. Like I rarely take on a new client, bro, because all my clients, I love them, bro. They're repeat offenders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like in the right way. You got your own
like,
island.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, keep it coming. You know what I mean? Like, it's a trip. Like,
it's true, man.
We have this thing amongst every culture where we hold each other back but complain about other people holding us back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 99.9% sure there was somebody when you said you wanted to start tattooing that was close to you. Mm-hmm. They doubted you and it hurt.
Yeah.
My three middle kids, you know what I'm saying, which today is my oldest boy's birthday.
Oh, happy
22.
birthday.
And this with his mom, my 2 other kids, my 3 kids' moms, the middle kids, we've had our differences over the years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like, I can never take from her, despite all the fucking shit that we've had. And you know, bro, you know me, I'm gonna keep 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember she had a job at Mervin's. Mm-hmm. And I showed up to pick her up from Mervin's, and I had my middle son, Buster Brown, in the back seat. And I picked her up. She got in the car, and she looked at me, and I'm just like looking. And she's all, "What?" And I'm gonna start tattooing. Look on the back seat, and she looked on the back seat, and I had a box, machine.
The old box.
What was it? Hold on. It was a Huck Spalding.
I have the same one. I have the same one.
Hey, how many people out there even know what Huck Spalding is? Remember the big old power supply with the stack and
looks like you could check a heart.
Man,
you could start your car with that thing.
And she looked in the back seat, and she looked at me, and I thought she was finna she was like, "Okay." Like, I can honestly say, bro, like, despite our differences over the years, her being so, like
on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, that was where I'm like, all right. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, it's cool. Because, bro, my kid's mom disagrees with me on everything automatically.
That's staple.
Like, bro, we could walk outside, the sun's shining. Oh, it's bright out here. No, it's not. It's dark.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just one of them things. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of those things. But, like, no, I can honestly, like, despite our differences, man, like, in order to continue to grow, you got to be honest about the things that really happened in your life. Like, have we had our differences? Have I been bitter towards? Fuck yeah, that's my baby mama. Who ain't never been bitter towards a baby mama? Nigga, shut up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
you have to accept the flaws. Your everything.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But she ain't never agreed with me on nothing.
Wow.
She probably disagreed with the way I'm telling the story right now.
That was wrong. First of all,
First of all,
you weren't driving.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't Buster, it was Baby Gail.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you weren't even there. This
you know
was
what I'm
the
saying?
phone.
Like,
I get it. That's funny.
But nah, dude, like realistically, I think that was like the defining moment for me to where like she was on board with it. I was the first African American to open up a tattoo shop, let alone be a professional tattoo artist in Tulare County ever.
Yeah, you hold that.
Like I hold that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I hold that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I tell people like, hey, the color of my skin has nothing to do with my ability.
Right.
Like, hey, I did my little ancestry thing, bro. Like,
how'd that go?
Black, Puerto Rican,
right,
Irish, Italian, Native, bro.
Sick. You're just like, let's see what else we
like,
can mix
bro,
in this.
You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, like, and it,
cool.
like, dude, to find that out, like, it just, it made sense to me. Well, Barnett is an Irish last name. So my grandmother, like, we used to wheel and deal. Hey, bro, I got my hustler spirit from my grandmother. So my grandmother, I'll be like, all right, so look, this is what we're going to do, Granny. You ready? So you can let me go to the art class, or me being fresh out of LA, I can come get on my bike and just rip and run all of this town and just tear stuff up. So what do you want to do? You want me to go to the art class, or you want me to like
paint that picture
be on the South? You know what I'm saying? And okay, let's go to the art class. So I did the art class. So when I got to do that art show, it was so dope because I remember walking around there like seeing my artwork hanging up in an art.
What did you put in for that art show? What was
just like our normal, like our watercolor paintings.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I used all that flash because like how, you know, I've always liked to call my style more like an urban traditional.
Yeah.
It's not really neo-traditional. No. It's not traditional because of the shit that I do with line weight.
Right.
And people tripped out when they realized how much I love traditional. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You like, dude.
A lot of the flash you brought in here, I watched you come to the shop for an event. And we're like, the shop event is gonna be whatever time you show up. And you're like, I'm just gonna bang out a few extra flash pieces, and it all looks just traditional, with your own, obviously like your own style, your own character. Yeah. And I was like, this is as raw as it gets. Like, and man, for me that was refreshing. Like all the things that you've mentioned earlier, it was so refreshing because I was like, dang, I forgot about that. You're like,
dude.
hey,
which hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I do love having appointments and being like, but I'm gonna take this weekend off, bro. Right. You couldn't take you take a weekend off, you get fired. Yeah, real talk.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna take the weekend off. All right, just go ahead and pack your shit.
That's prime time. That's
like
prime
go pack
time.
your shit.
But you said when you came in here, hey, I'm gonna be real with you. You said, what'd you say? I missed the days.
I missed the shop, bro, the street like, all right, shop. With me, like I just recently became a grandfather. I know,
dude. Congrats on that, man.
Thank you, man. Like Papa
I know
Slick.
we gotta talk about that because you're about to leave us.
Yeah,
man.
dude. I can't stand being away from my grand. That's my baby.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
Like that's my baby, man. And I don't know, man. And it's just time for me to do something different, man. I gave my daughter a life that I didn't have, so now I got to give my granddaughter a life better than I gave my daughter. So my daughter's finna be mad. Yeah. Bro, remember just like having fun in the shop. Not coming in because you're rushing for an appointment, not like, but like the days where you're like, what am I gonna get to do today? Yeah. Like, hey, I'm gonna try to, hey, do you remember looking through Flash and being like, hey, bro, I'll bet you $20, I'll get somebody to get one of these pieces that I really want to do today.
You're trying to sell it.
You know what I mean? Like, you remember doing that?
I remember that, man.
Like, bro, we fucking boosted each other up. We wipe each other up. You walk over and be like, oh, hell yeah, bro, you're killing that. Those lines look dope. Now, bro, artists don't even, bro, you'll be in a shop, artists don't even talk to each other. They're all in their booths like this. Yeah. What's up, man? What do you need? Shout out to Baby D. Baby D, all right, you know I've always had female artists at my shop from day one. I've always had female artists. I was raised by female. I love female.
Or whatever, You
know what I mean? And it's because I feel as though those are the only people who are going to understand how much I love this game because they've had it just as hard being women as I've had it being black. You know what I'm saying? Or biracial, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm talking about. And Baby D opened up her own shop, man. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like Baby D opened up her own shop and I'm so proud of her. Shades of Violet, her bumping HG. It just got to a point where, bro, they turned 18. Right. You know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, I've always made my lane and I've stayed in it. They rode in my lane with me for 5 years and they decided, hey, now it's time to make their own lane. And I'm so proud of Baby D.
With the space.
My tufting studio.
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, my tufting studio.
So you got into when did you get into that? I seen that. I was like, man, that's cool.
I've been doing it for a little over a year now, man. And with sobriety came new ways that I had to become creative. Like, you know how it is, bro, like to break up that monotony of tattooing. You're like, all right, I got to find another way to be creative that doesn't involve like other people, like just to be by myself, like to be creative.
Solitude kind of thing.
And like, dude, I have seen quite a few people like watching some videos of it. And you know, I'm real big into anime. A lot of people don't realize that, but I love anime. And I've seen people doing it with the anime style rugs, and I'm all like, what if I did like, all right, I could still be involved in the industry, tattoo style artwork, but I'm doing it on a bigger scale.
Yeah. And I know, I've seen the layout on it. It's
dude, I love it because like, dude, I kill time. I kill time like a motherfucker with it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, bro, you remember the days of like, you got to get a rough sketch. Oh yeah, you like that? Da 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 da. Put it over. Bust out the microns.
Yeah, the microns.
Like, where's my 8? Who messed up my tip? Where's my bold?
The 0.08
yeah,
was
you know
the
what I'm saying?
one.
Like,
that's
they will never understand that.
That's the best way to learn consistency in your
scrubbing tubes.
Yeah, man. The tubes, the building the machines from scratch, like scratch, dude.
Bro, like
I've got my pile of my first machines in the back. Health department, they came in here the other day. They always, oh yeah, you don't use the autoclave on because they remember.
Yeah,
and because we have this talk every single time they come in.
100% disposable.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not scrubbing tubes anymore. I'm not doing any of that.
My first, all right, so I had my little starter stuff that I had. So then I had gotten to the shop. I was apprenticing at the time, and they were like, you got to get a good machine and you got to get a good power supply. And they're like, get the Kingpin power supply. And I think at
was
that
the analog,
point,
was it the analog one?
The blue one. It was all blue, and it had the digital numbers on it, and you turn it to get it to where you want it. And I remember I told Matt, I was all, hey, can you order me my my power supply and my clip cord and stuff? And he was like, all right. I said, so look, I'll make you a deal. I said, you know what food stamps are, right? He was like, yeah. He goes, hey, I got this food stamp card.
Yeah.
So whatever it cost, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we made a deal. So my very first power supply, my Kingpin, the blue one, my first legit clip cord sleeve and shit, I paid for with food stamps.
That's right.
Matt Pardo, he was like, hey, I'm like, hey, take the card, go to the store. Hey, how much was it in cash? It was this much, and we did it in food stamps, man.
That's tight, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So and transition from, like you said, the starter stuff to buying my first Eternal tattoo had like the professional machines that were the Welker machines.
Yep.
And so that was my first legit.
What about, remember when pneumatics were a thing?
Pneumatics.
And everybody was putting compressors in their shop.
Dude.
Like,
it was an air and
Campagna. I've known that dude for years. Eddie, my youngest son, Eddie is actually my youngest son's godfather, bro. All right. I don't post tattoos as much as I used to because I've gotten to a point where I'm all like, they're all repeat offenders. Mm-hmm. And let's be real, bro. We got by without doing that on the internet before, didn't we? No. But you know what? That's what I love about like my hobby because when I'm at the track, ain't nobody worried about no tattoos.
I was going to ask you if you're racing and they're like you must be a tattoo artist or something.
Dude, you know what's crazy, dude? Realistically, all right, out of all the things that I've ever done my whole life, this is the one hobby that this has never mattered, bro. Real talk.
That's fun. Like,
for real. Like, I've been into a lot. I've done a lot of shit, bro. I love ride it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're at the remote control car track. We show up like, hey, is that your car? Yeah. Is that your car?
Tell me about that life. Tell me about your sponsorship and what level you took this on. And does that also fall parallel with your ambition to get a sponsorship? Wasn't you just chilling?
Like, all right, my goal in life, and I think everyone should be this way, get paid to do what you love.
There you go.
Find a way to get paid.
And I've noticed you started adding that to your posts. It's like, do what you love.
I'm sponsored by Reg Racing USA, Track Time Hobbies, Gens Ace Batteries, Coffin Muffler, and KM Motorsports.
Dang. The performance and the outcome, because you've been landing gear, right? You've been taking hardware. You've been How does that work? Because I know there's like lap times and you're building, but.
So different tracks, you have different lap times. Like a lot of people fail to realize how much detail comes into this hobby, dude. No, like I legitimately want to start doing. Yeah. Like I want to do like a RC show. Yeah. You know what I mean? To where it's like, all right, everything. So Like, hey, bro, like you can come and like, hey, I'm gonna have my boy Omar come and I'm gonna work on my car and we're just gonna shoot the shit and he's gonna ask questions about like, dude, I want to do something to like involve people into the hobby because, dude, it's really like, all right, there are people who do this for a living. There are people who are professional remote control car racers, bro. They travel all. A trade. Yeah,
they made that into a trade. Just like we once,
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And
they go fast. Your story still reflects on your car because of the art that you do on the shell.
Like I paint on my own bodies.
That's so dope.
Yeah, man.
That's a tattooer that can't shut it off.
You know what I'm saying?
You're like, I'm trying to do something, but you're like, I can't.
I can't. You know what I mean? Like I just still have that urge to be creative. Great. Like in like Ari on all my bodies, I always put 4:13, Philippians 4:13.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I believe I gotta. Since I've started putting what I believe first in my life, bro, it's been cool for me. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I started racing, and my very first sponsor I ever got was McLaren Racing. My boy sent me the application. Hey, try it. Tell them how you've been running. Got them. So then I go. I'm running for McLaren. Everything's cool. I picked up another sponsor. I got KM Motorsports, which my boy Kim started his own. Kim knows the science of cars. Yeah, so he started making his own screws, designing his own chassis. So he started his own company. Wow. He's like, hey, bro, I want you to be one of my team drivers. Like, bro, there's a website you can go on and it'll say Chris Slick Barnett. My picture will pop up and it'll have like my race bio, bro.
Wow. That's hot in Arizona too.
Dude, yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying?
So talk about that. You're about to.
Yeah, I want to move out there, man. I still want to race. Everything out there is indoors.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You got hobby action right there, and I think they're in Mesa or Chandler. I'm still learning.
Sure.
I'm not quite an Arizonian yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it's quite a few indoor tracks out there, man. And I actually went to the Arizona State Championships last year.
Wow.
And dude, I ended up walking away with like a sportsmanship award.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, because they were like, dude, like excellent sportsmanship. You drove well, let people like, and I met the team manager from Reds, my boy Ivan.
Okay.
And Ivan was talking to me and he was all like, hey, bro, like, how long have you been racing? I said, 1.5 years.
Yeah, I just got into this.
And he was all like, what? No. And I'm all, yeah, man. He was like, no, bro, like, I want you to come run with me. So I finished out my contract on McLaren. So it came time to be like, all right, well, let me hit up Ivan. And I was like, hey, bro, my contract's up with McLaren. Reg is a big deal to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an Italian-based company.
You know, my father-in-law does all the the planes.
Planes. Oh, yeah, that's scary.
And that's scary. He almost gave me the control. I was like, oh, no, I'm going to stick to the simulator.
Bro, I'm scared with driving.
Yeah.
Bro, when you see them cars going around there,
that's what.
That's at the least $1,000, bro.
Yeah,
at the least. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you got an inexpensive car, guess what? Electronics still cost money.
Still, the servos.
Yeah,
I know all about that.
Saying? Like, and that's one of the best part about having sponsors because, like, depending on what level you're at, bro, you get a discount on price.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you get to do what you love even more. So instead of me being like, ooh, that speed control is $300. I can only get one of those right now. It's kind of like, oh shit, like for what I got to pay, I'll get two, and that would be the price of one.
Right.
And it's dope because you get to go out and rep. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like I went this weekend. I raced 21.5 Expert, pulled third.
Nice.
Then I did USGT, pulled third with that, man. And dude, I love my RC fam.
That's fun, man.
Like I love it, man. It's like. It's legitimately like those kids on the playground. Like, for real. Like, hey, bro, like, is that your car? Yeah. Is that your car? Yeah. You want to be my friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so from my understanding from the RC world, again, like my father-in-law does that very heavy, and he's part of all the clubs.
Yeah.
They need something. He's got a guy, tune my plane, tune my controller, and I learned all that. So when I saw you get into that, I was like, man, and I knew a little bit of the RC, the car racing stuff, and I was like, he does the helicopters. You know how crazy that is? Yeah. They sound like real. He does all the inverted. He does that.
And like
he does all the crazy. Like he'll bring a plane in and tail it, and he'll just like hover,
bro. And I don't think,
and he'll be like, it looks like a drone. That's a plane, and one of those helicopters goes AWOL, dude. That's
all right.
A blade.
I don't think people understand. Like
and RC, those things pop, man.
Bro, if you lose control of something like that and it crashes, like people have no idea. Like that's someone's paycheck, bro. Like, hey, I've wrecked my car to where like when I first got into the hobby and I broke down and got like a legit like I'm going all out.
Right.
The first time that car broke, bro, like it took everything I had not to cry. You know what I'm saying? I was all like,
what's the chassis made? Is it carbon?
Carbon, yeah.
Well, it's not balsa wood,
Yeah,
is it?
no, dude. Like it's all
to the scale. It's a lot more intricate and difficult compared to our scale of a vehicle.
What's a 1/10 scale of a real car?
Right. And aerodynamics,
suspension,
the speed, the turn. Like, believe it or not, but there is a pull on the car when it turns.
Yep.
And there's flexing and so I'm like
depending on how much flex you have will affect your cornering speed. Yeah. Man, I love it. It gives me a peace, man. And you know what it is? It's just, bro, when we're at the track, we're just a bunch of kids having fun.
Yeah, you turn everything off.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, all right, on Sundays, when I'm at the track, somebody texts me about a tattoo, they're not hearing back from me till Monday. That's my time.
Yeah, it's like
and that's one of those things where, like, all right, I always post my race reports. So if you really know me, you're going to, that's why he didn't text me back. He was racing. I shouldn't even text him.
Yeah.
I love it, bro.
What's the car style difference?
The one that I'm running right now is that I'm running an Automatics, and this car is all science, dude. Like, all right,
tuned.
The ride height for this car, instead of like, adjusting the shock higher or lower.
Little coils.
Dude, there's a little like 1.5 screw that you just stick in and you go left or right to raise or lower, bro. You gotta go like,
wow.
Like, and if you go too far, bro, you're right. And believe it or not, just like with a real car, bro, if you don't got the right ride height, you're out there, bro. You go to a turn, you're gonna wash out.
You're gonna flip
it. Bro, I love the industry. I really, really do love the industry, but I'm trying to find a way to like still be creative, but not be so dependent on just that. Bro, I'm so much more than a tattoo artist.
Right.
You're so much more than just a tattoo artist, bro. And a lot of us forget that. Like we forget like, hey, that's one of the things I love about Joseph Cabela, bro, because if he's not tattooing, he's with spray cans.
Yeah.
He's with pencils. He's with anything he can get his hands on, like.
I didn't have a chance. I didn't have an option to do that. We didn't have an option when it was prime time, grind time, and now it's like we could put things on pause. A lot of things I missed out with my boys. Yeah, and with my daughters now. Like you mentioned, having a granddaughter. Like, being a girl dad now. Yeah, it's a whole different. And
that's
to be able to,
I love being a girl dad.
Yeah, I love it.
Because my oldest is a girl. I got 2 girls.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love it. Man.
And not only that, so then what we could carry down these kids, like they have no idea that.
I can honestly admit that, like, my career, like, even though my kids never knew what it was like to be poor, bro, I missed a lot from my career. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I missed a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there was, when they go through those teenage years, you know what I'm saying? My kids had a little bit of resentment because I was gone, because it's kind of like they didn't quite understand, like, hey, the reason why y'all have what y'all have is while I'm gone. I'm not saying that y'all wrong for it. Right. You know what I mean? But, like, now with having another kid, I guarantee you learned from that before.
Oh, for sure.
To where you're like, nope, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I feel about it with my granddaughter.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, it's like, well, now it's time to rewrite our wrongs. But it takes a lot for somebody to also get there. Yeah. I should say, like, for us to even sit here and just be like men and just say, I messed up.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, that was one of the things, again, with sobriety came accountability, bro. Like, I
wish I could do this with a lot of people. I don't even know them. And I'm just kind of, because like I mentioned before, I said, I don't want to downplay no one's life. Yeah, everybody has a story. It's just that you're part of my life. This is based on the walls of this shop. This podcast I'm doing is, and I don't even see it as a podcast. I'm recording something down that I could someday be like, listen to those kids. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
To our kids, to our whatever. I'd be like, yo, listen to this.
Well, I mean, they don't understand certain sides of certain stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get bitter and they only portray one side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my grandmother used to always tell me, like, hey, somebody always wish they had your problems. Yeah. Somebody always gonna have it worse. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely. If anybody could take anything from this, is that there are a lot of things that you said. Like, for instance, do what you love, and it could always be worse. If you think you're at, like, rock bottom to some people.
Everyone's got their own version of rock bottom, I think. Right. Bro, all right, somebody only got a $50 million loan instead of a $100 million loan. You know what I mean? And they probably thought the world was over. Right. And the thing is, I'm not going to judge nobody for their problems.
Right.
And I think that's what we do. Like, they listen to your problems or listen to my problems. And instead of just acknowledging the fact that, hey, bro, it could always be worse. Oh, well, let me tell you what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's always like,
right.
hey, bro, if I call my homie to talk about my problems, he going to talk about my problem. You're not going to sit there and tell me like, oh, well, guess what happened to me today?
Yeah.
That's why I don't fuck with nobody, bro.
Right.
I'm at home, I'm at the shop, or I'm at the track. Like, for real. Like, my circle's so small, man. I love it.
We're always going to be chasing something in a sense, right? Where I feel like, and it doesn't have to be paper. It has to.
No.
It could be like a better you.
I was chasing relevance.
Right.
Like, I was chasing irrelevant, bro. I wanted to matter because I got told my whole life I wasn't finna be shit. My biological mom was a horrible human being, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got told as a child, you ain't finna be shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. Your daddy wasn't shit. You ain't finna be shit. Like, so for me, I just make it a point to make sure, like, I thought my child was hard. And then I read that book, A Child Called It. And then I'm all, well, shit, man, REC was bad, but fuck, man. Like, man.
That's tough.
In all the years we've known each other, when have we sat down and really, like, talked about things like this?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people can we talk about tattoo history with like this?
Yeah.
Nobody know it. You know, it's to the point now where, like, all right, remember when everybody would make fun of me for being the oldest? You're there now.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me is us just in the front stoop, you know, in our rocking chairs in the country out there, just like back in our day. We open up our own spots and we kind of were like, this is how I'm going to run it. This is how I'm going to drive it. And that's why I was, again, like, this is all based on within the walls of here. You do something, I'd come and support it, be like, all right, this is within your start. We got into those positions where that's what I was wondering about your apprentice. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I kind of was, from my standpoint, I'm trying to save you.
Yeah.
Like you said, oh, I could draw.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not enough of a motive nowadays.
Hey, bro, if you had $1 for every time you heard that, how much money would you have in your...
Well, I like art.
You got to want it.
Yeah.
Like, you really got to want it. I remember when I was apprenticing, bro, 110 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? Shop's supposed to open up at 11. I'm out there waiting, just baking in the sun.
Yeah.
Everybody show up late, like, oh, we wouldn't have breakfast.
Yeah. Must be nice.
You know what I'm saying? And you're sitting there like, man, y'all left me out here like this. You know what I mean? Like, and bro, let's be real. I was a knucklehead back then. And I kept my mouth shut because guess what? I would see Felix pulling up to the shop and that dope ass motherfucking all black Bonneville in front of his shop.
Yeah.
And I'm all, I want that.
Right.
Look, here we are. You know what I'm saying? Almost 20 years later, I got my clean ass Silverado sitting outside, my 94 Silverado, my OBS. That was my dream truck when I first moved to Hanford. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I moved to Hanford, well, not my first time, but when I moved back in high school, 96, it's 95, 96. The parking lot was full of them OBSs.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember being like, hey, whose trucks are these? This was the 90s, bro. Everybody was driving them out here. LA wasn't nobody, but I get out here and I'm all like, whose cars are these? These are teachers? And they're like, that's a student parking lot. And I'm all like, the fuck is a student parking lot?
The stuff you're doing with the hobby, with what you're able to do, and
it all came from tattooing. But I figure I look at it like this: like, I ain't never done. All right, I've tattooed this whole time. All right, you got some people. Oh, I've been tattooing for 10 years. Have you been tattooing 10 years the whole time, or did you tattoo for 5 years? You got a regular job for a couple of years, and then you came back to tattooing. I'm sorry, that don't count. I've been doing this for. This has been my sole source of income.
Yeah.
For 20 years, bro.
Yeah.
Coming up on 20 years.
That's amazing.
All right, when you became an artist, you had to establish yourself as an artist. You had to decide not what kind of artist do I want to be, who as an artist do I want to be. That's what you did.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be known as an artist that, like, hey, regardless of what y'all think, hey, he could draw.
Yeah.
To where people are like, oh, use your iPad. Hold up, homie. I got tubs of my artwork. I know you got art laying around, homie.
A backpack full of stuff I just found the other day with my machines.
Yeah.
And my first original, like, tracing paper, pink pencil, red pencil.
Red pencils.
You know, art, and my first prints, a lot of stuff, and like my books, like you mentioned, and I have your flash in here too, which you need to sign. Like,
that'll work. I will.
You know what I mean?
I will,
Let me grab that real quick, actually, because that's what I want to do before we wrap things up real quick.
Yeah, because I'm already. Hey, bro, you have control over the people that you want around you. So you can't complain about where your life is at when you're choosing to allow people like that to be in your life, and then call me and expect pity.
And like you said, know who supports what you do. Like,
what was your favorite coil machine? Ooh, put you on the spot right now.
Okay, yeah, no, my nickel-plated Charlie Roberts, Shorty, which was given to me as a birthday gift by Gunner, and he was like one of my birthdays. But I had that, and I also had my favorite shader. Let's see, Victory irons. Okay, Victory irons are the ones that they made a liner and shader. I got a shader from them, so those two are my go-to. What about yours? What was yours?
Paco Rollins.
Paco Rollins.
Man, those were my daily drivers, bro. They were, and for the price of his machines, they were fair.
Do you remember when he was doing around here? He used to just pull up to a shop and do a machine building.
Oh, wow.
He would bring a frame.
Yeah.
But you would have to like tune it and set it up yourself. And he would sit with everybody.
Oh, wow.
And I'm talking about, this is stuff that now we can teach.
Yeah.
But at the time was like, we're doing that just to learn how to tune our own machine.
Yep.
But it was like, hey, there's a Paco Rollins seminar.
Yeah.
And you get to build whatever you want, liner or shader.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he would bring the frame, and it was like, remember, Workhorse has those like build your own kit.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing.
Same thing. Dude, I used to have this Wafke. Do you remember Wafke machines?
Wafke. Dude, you just hit me with like...
I still have it.
A flashback.
Like, bro, my Wafke.
Yeah, I remember those.
God, dude, I fucking love that machine.
Yeah.
Like, that was my daily
What was your first rotary?
My first rotary, realistically, the first rotary machine I ever got, I never used it, but my first rotary, remember those cam machines? The long ones, and it had the little on the top.
Oh, it was like a swash drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Where'd you get it from?
Cam?
Okay.
I spent the order and I got it for free. You remember that?
Yeah,
like when you spend over so much money with Cam, you get a free tattoo machine.
They throw
you know
you
what I
a
mean?
whole new machine. You feel like oh man.
Dude, you place like, what was it, like $100 order, you got a free tattoo machine. You know what I mean? And you got to pick between like the swatch one.
It was a swatch drive.
Or the or a regular, like the Cam OJ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was that.
My first was a Dragonfly.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah,
I remember when you got it. Yeah,
so you probably remember.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah,
that Dragonfly machine, dude. I would probably still use it right now. It was because it had both RCA and the clip cord.
Yeah,
and the standard. But what were you gonna say about it was the swatch drive and
the swatch drive, and then Sketch gave me what was the first pin? The first pin that I got from Sketch, and it was like a Papa.
Oh, the Papa. I remember
the
those.
Papa pin when they first came out. He was like, hey, bro, I got 2 of them.
It's crazy.
He just give it a fair shot, man, and let me know what you think. Like, bro, I have days where I could be like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go to the shop in Tough. If I need to, like, hey, bro, like, I don't got nothing lined up for the next 2 days. I got a couple of rug orders.
Yeah. This is our office.
Yeah.
It becomes our office.
Yep. You know what I mean? I come down to the shop. Like, I'll get there. Sometimes can't sleep. Let me go down there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's a creative space.
Work on a rug.
Because you're not just tattooing. It's a creative space. Stories are essential.
Yeah.
You know?
Basically.
Tell us not that we are non-essential. Like,
man,
we are
It's therapy.
Yes.
Hey, it's like, I'm proud of you, dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Like, for real. Like, I'm proud of you, dude. I remember, like, dude, I still have the old stickers and all that, man. Like, I'm very proud of you, man.
Some I'm going to give you. I got some new ones, too. I got to get you some, but
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me out.
I appreciate you coming out here. It means big time to me, too. So thanks, guys. Make sure to, give us a comment. What you thought about the episode, man. You probably, your perspective, your point of view, any of these topics. You know, this is what it's about, man. We're just talking out loud, tattooing out loud. The same thing, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And to the next one, make sure you do like, subscribe.
Slick, SL1CC _ Art Life.
I got you. Anywhere you guys listen to your podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music. Till then, to the next one, guys. We're going to get to work. Cause, man, this grind don't stop.
No, I got to head back to the T.
I got you, man. Drive safe back there, too.
Always.
Man. I appreciate you. Later on, guys. To the next one.